What's going on, y'all? We're gonna check this out, y'all. What's going on, y'all? We're gonna check Milk talking about Almighty. I already seen the beginning. Hello? Here we go, y'all.
North, south, east, west the deal, milk, gang, y'all already know how it's gonna go. And to the ones on their first time log in, welcome to It's Milk TV. Now come on, before we get into this reaction, I gotta let y'all know that we on the road to 200K. And I noticed a big percentage of you guys are unsubscribed recurring viewers. Now you don't want to be one of those for too long because they always end up in the Gilligan zone. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the like button and let's get it on. I posted a picture giving you a look at Almighty suspects, who I call Almighty suspicious, past life when he used to gangbang. And he responded about it on his employer's podcast. So we gonna log in and we gonna see what's the script. Come on.
Do you want to talk about the top thing listed here?
I ain't ducking shit.
Milk exposes Almighty as a Crip.
How?
I can't even read this.
He don't know what he talking about.
Milk is white as hell.
Stupid. He don't know what he talking
Milk,
about.
you too white.
So he.
Now Buster Boy, who y'all might know.
He said, "You white as hell." He said, "No, you white as hell."
As Brick Baby, why do you always bring up the color of my skin every time you mention me? Like, do you think it's weak, or like, do you think it's pushed over? Like, what do you, like, why is that always brought up when you talking about me? I want to know that. And Adam, you're white. I mean, well, that ain't got nothing to do with it. But you not from the streets, bro. Of course you not gonna know what that caption said. And that's great. I did it purposely for people that ain't from the streets to really kind of, you know, they kind of get what it is, but they don't really know. That's, thank you that you didn't know. I'm so glad. But yeah, like, why did this Gilligan Buster Boy always bring up the color of my skin when he mentioned me? I don't get it.
from banging with the Bloods to running with the 9 Crips. Are you trying to say that these are Crips? First of all, there's no Bloods.
That's not what I
There is
said.
Crips in this video, but there's no Bloods right here. That's a
There's
nigga from
Crips right
Hoover.
here?
That's a nigga from Hoover, and that's a nigga from Maytre.
Oh yeah,
Nigga don't even know what he's
Crips.
talking about. I know that's what I'm saying. I'm like, it is, but it ain't. Nigga, this a nigga from 11 dudes. This a nigga from 11 dudes on the left. You feel me? 11 dudes Hoover, and this a nigga from Maytre. Nigga, and I was like,
But you was banging Bloods right there, wasn't you? Yeah, y'all heavily rooted. Sue, moving, grooving. Everybody saying don't exist. That y'all are cool.
So
He
you
didn't
was
even know what he was
Bloods.
talking about. You feel me? You talking about this a picture with me with Bloods, and then I ran running with. First of all, I didn't run with nobody.
On that picture that I posted, I never said that them individuals that's on that picture is Bloods. I never specifically said where they was from. I know where the individual with the red on is from. I know he represented the blue. I know the other individual is from 11 Deuce and G. I know who they are, G. I never specifically said who you was on the picture with. I just said you went from banging with the BPS. You just told Busta Boy that you used to bang Bloods, right? I said you used to bang Bloods, then you went to the 9-0 Crips. And then you tried to be a 16 and get some 304s and shit. That's what I said. I never specifically said those are Bloods or those are Crips that you on the picture with. Damn, you can't read the caption either. I did that shit good then.
My cousin is from over there, so nigga, your cousin is your cousin. You feel me? So my cousin.
What that mean? I got cousins from places and I'm playing neighborhood.
I don't get the whole expose aspect because this is
My history is no mystery.
This is no mystery.
My history is no mystery.
This has
I
been
don't hide
discussed so many fucking
Cousin is
times,
from
bro.
9-0, right?
Facts.
Go get a KB.
Thank you. So
He
what
used
is
to be from 40s.
This
It
is my
probably was
cousin,
way
bro.
worse when he was.
You got put off for
No
something.
way. That's what I'm like. Niggas
Like,
slow
nigga, that's
and
my cousin, bro.
How many times have we talked about you being in the neighborhood?
The cousin, Buster Boy Brick Baby mentioned, he got put off for folks. Like Almighty Suspicious got put off or whooped for claiming Bloods, BPS. But let's go.
At the music video, dog. Like,
And I could tell the story of how that shit happened. Nigga, RG was my cameraman first before he did the neighborhood anthem shit, and he was like, "Bro, I'm finna go to LA and do this video with hella Crips because you know RG is from Brim down in San Diego." He like, I seen you was in the studio with KB. Like, do you think you could come with me and make sure it's smooth? I'm like, come on. He was shooting a video for me early in the day, so I just go with him. We go to Airbnb, and it's $1,900,000 in there. This is my first time even interacting with the niggas for real. For me, I go in there, I'm worried for myself. You feel me? Like, I don't know if I'm gonna run into a nigga who I didn't got into it with when I was younger. I'm like, I don't know.
All that my cousin.
You feel me?
See, this is why he got put pressure on him in that alley, bro, because he was claiming a blood gang. I guess because his cousin, you know, that's what he said. So he was banging a blood.
So I think basically what Milk trying to say is Almighty did big gang bang. That's all they're trying to say. Because he was throwing it up. And if you throwing it up, bro, you kind of claim it, right?
And, you know, they caught him hanging with their ops. Whether it was his cousin or other people or...
Dang, okay, this story getting crazier now. They caught him hanging with his ops. Their ops.
It really don't even matter. He was begging Bloods. Once you doing that, y'all that family shit is kind of like out the door. It depends on your status or yo whatever like that. But back in the day, 10, 15 years ago, you was not posting your cousin from the other side on your Instagram story saying happy birthday or this is my cousin. You wasn't doing no shit like that. That shit was not happening. So that's why he got put pressure on him in that alley. Now this is the shit. See, he's showing a pattern. Now he's, you know, he used to be banging Buzz, and now he's going to do a music video with the people he used to bang with.
This is crazy, y'all. Milk be knowing everything. Milk messy.
He's going to do a music video with the people he used to bang with, ops, enemies. You know, that's crazy, but come on.
I'm like, I don't know. Nigga showed me hella love when I got in there. That's how I even got in the scene. I'm only in the last one. For me, because my nigga, rest in peace, my nigga JM from Main Street. He like, well, Almighty, get on Main Street. You gotta get in this video, Almighty. So I'm like, whatever. If I'm gonna get in this motherfucker, I'll throw up my little peas and get right out. Nigga, that video, nigga, I'm talking about everybody was on my ass. Almighty from 9 on that. Almighty from 9. Nigga, I went with the camera.
So how is my caption out of line?
The fucking cameraman, gang, and got in the video for a little scene. You feel me?
Is this?
So how was Milt lying? That's what you were saying. How was he though? Because he was claiming.
Why you was still
it was after because I was already rapping.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I was already rapping. It was already over.
At the end of the day, he already
hung that cap up.
Over with.
You feel me?
It don't even matter.
No cap.
And that tall building right there by Target. The one right next to Target. Yeah. I didn't know where you live. It ain't that serious.
Well, I knew as soon
if you knew where I was live, why you
when
ain't
he posted, I just seen it. I'm like, oh,
it's not hard
because that's down the street from where I be at. You feel me? Like that's Clemson Street is right down the block.
Everybody take La Cienega to get to the 10.
He made a video, and he's like, I'm in your hood, Gilligan. He's outside on the fucking main intersection, mind you, not like in the section, but he's on Clemson and La Cienega. Like, I'm in your hood, Gilligan.
Wait, he did this when?
This is like, I wasn't working for No Jumper at the time, and like
he was trying to get some points, but
he was just talking shit to me, whatever. Like, and then he was on like a fuck.
No, I was on less. I was applying pressure because the paperwork surfaced of him and a woman going against an ex-boss where they was claiming and saying, Lush even said it in court, that the boss had him walking with him to the bathroom like he was a dog on his knees with a dog collar and leash around his neck, bro. And he walked to the bathroom and had to sit in there while the man, take a number 2, take a crap, bro.
Why don't Lush miss that part?
The shit is that. So that's why I was on Lush, like, whoa, hold on, bro. This shit is kind of weird. And this shit is kind of weird. Come on.
Campaign for a while.
You just a hater.
And then and then someone else saw him walking on the Chevron down the street right there. There was like a video of him. Like, oh, look, it's Milk walking across the street. So I'm like, you on
There would never be a video of like that.
This big ass new
Yeah.
We know where we've been. Never said anything because I'm not letting. Yeah, I'm not letting.
You never did nothing. After you said I put him on.
I'm talking about it. As soon as I posted something about you, they dropped your pen immediately. I said something about Milk, and I think I blew Hoover up like, oh, everybody finna be mad. All my cousins from Hoover, but nigga get that white boy, nigga. I blew it up, did all that shit. And
Gilligan internet
they give that locate.
Baby pulled up, try to get Milk. He said, get that white boy.
Woo, that's why I don't kick it with nobody. They be giving up locations fast in the DM. Like, he be whoopty whoop whoop like cuz.
Now, who gave you my low? Buster Boy, who dropped my low in your DM? Nobody even be at my crib. I don't bring no my homies to my crib. None of that shit, bro. So who brought you to my crib? What? They gave you assumptions? You got assumptions of where you think I live? Why you ain't pull up and do nothing, bro? Because I put pressure on you about going from 30s to the 60s. Forcibly, though, local. Your cousins and older uncles who go to the overhills and get put on 60s, bro. But let's get back into Almighty Suspicious and see what he...
Milk is so messy, bro.
Talking about.
Going to real with Robert. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. With Robert. I know that.
You know Robert?
I got good
nigga,
paperwork.
stop playing, nigga. So you know his name is Robert.
Everybody
I grew up with that nigga.
Name's
Fool.
Rob.
And my female cousins used to bully that nigga. He remember my order. Milk, do you remember my liquor store order, gang? It used to be a tiki punch and 49-cent hot fries. Nigga, we used to make you go around the corner.
He said he used to send me to the liquor store and get a tiki punch hot fries, bro. First of all, back in the day, I never grew up with this Gilligan. I ain't never met this Gilligan. Now, granted, I do know his Uncle True resting in peace, that used to burn the DVDs and the CDs. I know him, and I know True, 2 kids, Tracy and Trayshawn, and I know they cousin Danae. That's it. You didn't grow up with me, Gilligan. And back in the day, chips was $3 for $1. Wasn't drinking no tiki punches. We was drinking big juicies. What are you talking about? You were sending me to the stove. Where did this Gilligan story come from? But let's continue. Come on.
53rd and Hardale. I don't even know how you went from who, because nigga, you grew up in the 50s.
I lived over there for 3 years. You was nowhere
Next door
near.
to True. You lived across the street
And
from
that's
my
what
uncle.
I know.
You know what's going on.
His pops has already told me this
he lived
before.
across the
So
street from my
yeah.
uncle, nigga, on 53rd and Hardale. My female cousins used to bully this nigga.
My
Robert,
granny
yo,
lived right around the corner.
the family that adopted him, his black sister, you feel me? I know all of them. Like, Robert, stop, gang.
It's crazy that this Gilligan would get on the internet and make up a frivolous story. Then you got Lushy over there talking about, yeah, his daddy did already told me his story. I ain't never met that clown daddy, but I'll tell you something about that clown father. I posted the paperwork of this clown father giving a statement to law enforcement on a situation I believe allegedly took place between him and Frosty the Snowman, bro. The father snitching on the paperwork, dog. I posted that. So if I put pressure on your father, how come this story never came out? How come you been never told nobody this? And I've been putting pressure on you for 3 years, bro. I did a reaction to you. I was told you wasn't even from BPS. They just whooped on you for even claiming BPS after they found out you was hanging with the ops. So you wasn't even from over there. You got whooped on for claiming, bro. But when I did that reaction, how come you said, oh, I know, Robert. You think you doing something because you saying, Robert, I'm really from Los Angeles. Everybody know Robert. I went to school with people, elementary, kindergarten, middle school, junior high school. Everybody know. I got family in LA. Like, you think you're the only one that can say, Robert, you didn't grow up with me. Yo, female cousins was dragging me through the mud. How? Tracy was skinnier than a toothpick, and she was my childhood friend before I even jumped off the porch. Nobody was dragging me through no mud. I've been like that. And I had a brother that was a year younger than me that was like 200 pounds, 220 pounds when he was 11. He wasn't going for none of that. We wasn't going for none of that. I lived with a house full of people and had a lot of cousins and everybody, bro. So where was this frivolous?
They said that their cousin beat Milk up.
Story 6, 7 a year, 12 months ago, 20 months ago.
I used to be on your bumper, nigga, and you like 4 years older than me, and I was on his ass. You feel me? Like, stop it. That's why you really don't like me, bro. Cause that nigga, we used to bully you and make you go to the liquor store runs for, cause you was the only white boy over there. So it was odd as fuck.
Yeah, you good. They not gonna pop at you.
He went through hell.
Yeah, nigga, you the great liquor store nigga.
No,
you gonna make it back.
You gonna make it back, nigga. And I was like, nigga, go give me a tiki punch, nigga, and them hot fries, nigga.
Damn.
On my mama, nigga, and a little sour.
Now he blowing up his mama. He said if he lying, he flying. Well, she flying and he flying. Cause you lying, bro. You didn't grow up on 53rd. You wasn't in that True House. True House wasn't even no spot like that. Tracy and Trayshawn wasn't even outside like that. They didn't even go to the stove. You talking about you was over there, you grew up with me, you did all of this. You didn't grow up on 53rd. Don't nobody on 53rd even know you. Where was this story at? How come you never said this? How come you never said, I know Robert. I grew up with him on 53rd. My female cousins used to drag him through the mud. Yo, female cousins, I'm going to tell you something. You had a female cousin that used to be over there. She used to be over there at True House, True Resting in Peace. She used to be over there with Tracy and Trayshawn. And my cousin Brandy, they squabbled. Brandy was like on her in front of my house, bro. On the sidewalk, like squabbling her. And Brandy, not big, but she was kind of like on the heavier side. So what are you talking about? I know Danae. Danae was actually over there. You don't know Curtis. Danae, when Danae used to talk to him, they end up getting put on 5-4 VNG. You wasn't on side. You don't know none of this. Don't nobody on 53rd know you. What's the store called? I was on 53rd in Dinker. You said I lived across the street from True House? No, I didn't live across the street from True House. I lived down the street, maybe 7 houses on the same block from True. And that's true. And I don't know you.
Yeah, if
Before
I'm
I
lying,
give
I'm
you a
flying.
rip.
And he's a
For a
lot
nigga
older
beat
than
you up
you,
in the
though.
back.
He is. He's like 10 years older than you.
Not 10, he like 4.
Okay.
Because I don't know if nigga Scooby little sister. Scooby little sister used to bully this nigga with me. Nigga, my big cousin Danae, she only 2 years older than me. This nigga's not too far from my age. He used to get bullied on 53rd and Hardale. Now he just got some imaginary.
He said he used to live on. He used to be on 53rd Hardale.
Come on,
he
bro.
said that.
Come on, bro. That's where my uncle passed away. You feel me? True was right there. He lived across
He
the
really
street.
grew up over there. He grew up in Overhills.
He did.
He told me, I mean, he said it in the city like Baldwin Hills, Wizard Hills, Ladera, all that. I'm like, you over there, nigga. How did you make it? But his family was always over there, I guess.
Now it's kind of pathetic, almighty suspicious to get on the internet and.
That's crazy, y'all. It's hard to figure out if Breaking Almighty is, telling what it is, or if okay, because we ain't grow up in LA unless you did, and you know, then let me know in the comments.
Up a frivolous story. I put pressure on this dude 2-3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. I put pressure on him. I said he was a Gilligan. He was claiming BPS. He got put off in the alley. I did a reaction. I mean, I posted the paperwork of his daddy rifleman in that situation. I have never met Almighty Suspicious. I've never met his father. Like his 3 cousins, Danae, Tracy, and Trayshawn. Tracy was like the tomboy. Trayshawn was like whatever, but they was not outside. They was not where me and Tank and Lee and Fernando and them was doing. They wasn't doing none of that. They was not outside, bro. It was at their mama house in Lancaster, my guy. But Tracy and Trayshawn was my close friends. You don't know this. I wasn't even hanging with Danae like that. Danae was across Western. She went and got put on 5-4 V&G. You wasn't nowhere around, homie. Tracy didn't get put on nowhere. Trayshawn didn't get put on nowhere. They wasn't from nowhere. They wasn't outside. They wasn't doing shit. You wasn't around nowhere. Nowhere to be found and shit. True, rest in peace. I met him because he had burnt CDs and DVDs. He was the guy for that. I became cool with him. And then I became cool with his kids, bro. But I was on 53rd. Almighty Suspicious, where was you at, bro? You know your mama and father had you somewhere tucked away? And I don't even know them, by the way. I only knew True. I only knew Tracy, Trayshawn, and Danae. I ain't never met you, not a single day of my life. And you on here telling a frivolous ass story. Why you didn't tell this when I posted the paperwork of your father? You said I posted this picture several times. If that's the case, how come you didn't say this the last time? How come you never said, oh, I grew up with Robert? Like, you doing something because you know Robert. Like, I'm really from LA. Like,
My dog is going crazy.
just proves I'm from LA because somebody told you, oh, his name is Robert. Yeah, because I grew up with Tracy and Trayshawn for like 3 years. Moved to 53rd and Dinker. That's when I was like 11. Yeah, like 10 and like I had to be like 11, like 10 and a half, 11. We ended up living there for like 3 years or something. So I didn't grow up over there. I was just living over there. But that's where I did jump off the porch at. And Tracy and Trayshawn wasn't around. Facts. I don't even talk to them, bro. We wasn't even close like that once we like really jumped off the porch, bro. And they was in Lancaster. Somewhere where you was at. You probably was in Lancaster as well. Because this is facts. They was in Lancaster or Palmdale. Wherever they mama was living at. So, like, I don't know you. But that's a good try. A nice try, my guy. But you don't know the Lees. You don't know the Tanks. And then you saying I was, like, getting harassed. Who was harassing me over there because the complexion of my skin, bro? When my niece, who was a year older than me, was already gangbanging, she was off the porch, bro. My brother was 200 pounds bigger than me, like 220, bro. He was big, bro. Like, I had people, like, cousins, like, who was doing anything to me? And then I was like that Like I was gonna fight or do whatever, bro. So who was taking advantage of me? And then you saying a tiki punch? We wasn't even drinking tiki punches, my guy. You was nowhere to be found. It's no pictures of you on.
He said they weren't even drinking tiki punches.
Third. How do you prove you was on 53rd? And why is this story just being told? After I done put pressure on you several times. Let me know. I'll let you know. It's a Gilligan story made by a Gilligan, bro. He failed. This is a negative 10 minus. This is a negative. I said minus twice. This is a negative 10.10 on the Gilligan scale. This is a real fail that you would get on the camera and lie.
This is crazy, y'all.
My female cousins used to. So you was hanging with your female cousins? So you was with your female cousins every day? Because I wasn't. So that speaks volumes about your character then. But all that shit cap, bro. That's a made up story, and that's sad that he gotta go to that, bro. You a little boy, bro. You would have got messed up. You would have got whooped and all type of shit. You wasn't out there with the Fernandos and the Hectors. You didn't know nobody, bro. You was not outside. You was nowhere over there. You didn't go to Western Avenue. You never was up there. You never was around nowhere. You don't even know what Sounds of Success is. You didn't know JB's cell phone shop. You don't know nothing because you wasn't from over there. You wasn't over there. Tracy and Trey Shine them wasn't even outside like that. They daddy them just lived on that block. They used to do little certain stuff with us, but they wasn't even outside like that. So stop. Danae, she was the one out of that little group of them three. She was the one that jumped off the porch, bro. Danae. Yeah. Over there, bro. This is like crazy that you would make up a story, but it's a story and it's made up and it's Gilligan activity. So look, bro, don't be no unsubscribe recurring viewer because that's Gilligan activity. Hit the subscribe, hit the like button, and I'm out of here, Loke. I'll see y'all at the next video.
At Wawa, lunch cravings are our specialty. Freshly made hoagies, paninis, and so much more. You got a Wawa.
So that's Milt talking about Almighty's blood put off history, whatever happened. We're gonna check this out.
You do a whole bunch of talking and
Alright, y'all. We got Charleston White talking about whack 100.
You do a whole bunch of talking and a whole bunch of woofing, boy. But we already know, nigga. Real niggas know you selling wood nickels, nigga, and wolf cookies. Yeah, everybody know, nigga, you full of hot air and steam. You wasn't vicious enough, nigga, when you were fighting them white folks. That's how I look at you, nigga, and I really judge you. You didn't have a lot of, you wasn't real violent with that white boy you were fighting, nigga. You didn't have what we need to see in a nigga who fight white folks, nigga. You damn near act like you didn't even want to hit the white boy, nigga, when you was fighting. Nigga, you was supposed to bite his nose, poke his eye out, run him over with the car. No, Wack, you ain't got that in you, nigga. That's why you on these platforms talking loud, nigga. And you ain't got no evidence nowhere throughout your career, nigga, where you ever slapped a nigga, beat up a nigga, killed a nigga, stomped a nigga, even whooped a nigga, Wack 100. That's not in your resume. That's not a part of who you are, Wack it. You know that, boy. Look at the kind of people you manage. That Blueface boy. Look.
I think that's a lot of Charleston because when they're you fighting somebody at the truck, or is that what he's talking about?
Look at your company you keep. Nigga, you defend 6ix9ine, my nigga. But you want to come talk to your people and pull out paperwork and this, here. Nigga, where your evidence on me, nigga? Where your evidence on me, Wacky? Matter of fact, can't none of you niggas produce nothing on me, nigga. I'm damn near like Obama. You niggas can't find nothing on me, nigga. You niggas can't find no blemish, no nothing. Well, he had his juvenile paperwork. Y'all got Pop Hunter paperwork.
He said I'm damn near like Obama.
He was a baby. Y'all was able to get Pop Hunter's paperwork when he was a little bitty 13-year-old baby about where he snitching. You nigga can't get mine. You nigga can't find one nigga I ever told on, put him in jail, and get him to say, hey man, he the nigga, put it out. You doing that with Mob James? That nigga say, man, you didn't do nothing to Charleston White. Nigga, you wouldn't do nothing to me, nigga, if you was here with a gun sitting next to you and me, and not in Texas. But one thing I know, Wack 100, you so foul in your actions in your heart, your woman can't wait till you die, nigga. Your wife or whatever bitch you lay down with, nigga, that hoe can't wait for you to die, nigga, and gone so she can live her best life. You an embarrassment, nigga, to anything that a black man is supposed to represent, nigga, that's tied to that white boys industry, nigga. Yeah, you talk about the funerals you paid, nigga, but you paying for protection. Nigga, you ain't no charitable man, nigga. Everybody know you gang banging niggas and you blood and crip niggas. If you from that area, you niggas got to pay for protection. You niggas got to pay for passes. You niggas got to pay to be a part of the hood if you make it. You ain't just finna make it, nigga, and just do for your family and you from where y'all from. You niggas get extorted and exploited too by the hood, nigga. So you ain't just paying for funerals, nigga, and feeding people out of food trucks, nigga. You doing that, nigga, quid quo pro. And that's only for the smart folks to know what I'm talking about, nigga. Quid quo pro, nigga. You ain't doing that out of love. You gotta do that, gangbanger. 40-year-old gang member, you got to do that, nigga. And y'all ain't got no treasury, nigga. That's how you know you're getting fucked. You niggas ain't got no treasury. One thing you niggas ain't got, nigga, is no scholarship funds. That little girl you kicked out of Blueface house, nigga, she wouldn't give you no more pussy. She wouldn't give you no more pussy, nigga. She said you was calm drunk. You were too drunk off that calm she would give you, and you didn't know how to behave. You thought she would go be your woman and your artist, but nigga, you just wanted her to be your woman, nigga, and your side bitch or your sex slave. That's why she never could get no music out, nigga. You want to keep your dick in her mouth. You don't want to keep a microphone to it. Everybody know about you, wacky. Everybody know you a pervert and you try to use intimidation tactics. You try to use coercion and you a bluff game puller. You like to pull the bluff game, nigga. That's why you say wild shit and say, yeah, well, we'll just convene till we get it. You making up shit. And you done figured out, nigga, you can make up shit, nigga, in an information age where people don't really seek to find the facts about information. They just take whatever information is at hand. And you the nigga that keep the bullshit information at hand, nigga.
Do y'all think he's spitting facts or no facts? What y'all think? Is Charleston, y'all think he's right about what in any way here? Let me know. I be really observing this and thinking about life. Yeah, and just, yeah, y'all let me know.
You ain't got no substance, pussy ass nigga. Nigga, your name ain't big nowhere in the South. We don't nobody down here around here. You couldn't come to Dallas, Texas and go nowhere, nigga. You couldn't come to Fort Worth, Texas and go nowhere, nigga. You couldn't come down here and say nothing to a blood nigga, and make a nigga say something to me in Texas. You can't find a blood nigga to coincide with you to go against me in Texas, nigga. Not in this big old
There's not many bloods in Texas though, right? Ain't Texas predominantly a Crip state?
I run this shit in Texas, nigga. Nigga, from the bottom up. You trying to run it from the top down, nigga.
Charleston said he was the king of Texas. How is this not in the headlines? Charleston claims he's the king of Texas. This is crazy, y'all.
No black women in your community love you and honor you and cherish you, nigga. Nowhere. No. See, unbeknownst to you niggas in California, nobody likes Crips and Bloods. Outside of Los Angeles, California, homie, everybody hates y'all. Nobody likes the Crips or Blood, nigga. Nowhere outside of Los Angeles, California, nigga. Some people tolerate you motherfuckers, but most people look down on you secretly.
He said some people tolerate you motherfuckers. Do y'all think that's true though? I don't think that's true, y'all, because
Crip or
there is, I don't think that's true, y'all. Because there's still gangs outside of LA. Feel me? I don't know if he's talking about the people in LA. Like all the people just rock with bangers. Or, yeah, I don't know.
nobody likes you motherfuckers. None of you niggas got a voice nowhere. Snoop Dogg is a weak voice as a Crip. Game is a weak blood. You have no power.
How was Snoop a weak voice? I feel like Snoop is one of the milestones of making it for
Industry whack 100. You can't get nobody signed, nigga. If you showed up with a good artist, the white boy go take him from you. Nobody is gonna let you manage a platinum artist, wacky. You will never be able to manage a platinum artist, wacky. You're not sitting down in no boardrooms with no major executive that's making major decisions. Don't try to pretend that you are high and mighty in the eyes of the white man, boy. You got bad skin, son.
Y'all make sure y'all
You
follow
can't
the
be on
club.
CNN.
Follow the mods.
You can't be on CNN, wacky. You'll never meet with a governor. You don't have the prestige. You are a fucking gang member who's having dramatic cat fights on the internet every fucking day. As a matter of fact, wacky, you ought to know all my children. You are the new General Hospital. You so filled with drama and these fucking pity, bitchy cat fight that you do every day. You are the new representation of a emasculated, sissified, docile, subservient American black man. You, wacky, have replaced the images of Martin Luther King. Guys like you will be erasing strong men from the past because niggas like you are the new future. Cat fighting bitches on the internet, squabbling every motherfucking day. Every day, nigga. The old man told me that you don't have no business sitting down talking to a black motherfucker. I said, why, Pops? He said, because all they go do is argue and squabble and fight over bullshit. They ain't go never build nothing. They not go never create nothing together. They not go in business together. They go argue and squabble over the dumbest shit in the world. And when they get through arguing and squabbling on these social media platforms, they not go build nothing. Nothing's gonna have been built. They not gonna have no money to put behind it, and it ain't gonna be no goddamn actions. You are the example of that, wacky. You and every other black motherfucker on these social media platforms sharing their ideologies, their opinions, what they think, what they feel, what I believe, with all this what I believe. You motherfuckers can't build nothing. Your children, because you a motherfucker who like to talk about what you go do and you ain't the motherfucker that never do what you say you go do, your children will inherit your poverty-stricken mindset. Your children will inherit your excuses. Your children will mimic your behavior. Because a son can do nothing but what he see his father do. He can only do what he sees.
He's talking about him ducking the fades. He said, I guess is what he's talking about. Because he be saying he's going to fight somebody all the time, and then he never does.
Father does. Nigga daddy sitting around arguing every goddamn day with some motherfucking niggas. My son watch me wake up and come be puppet master, nigga. I come every day with a strategic plan to execute some game. And my game is so big and it's so good, I was a nobody nigga last year. And I got celebrities saying my name because I showed up on the internet, nigga, executing game. I done made damn near $20,000 this week, nigga, and I don't make no money from an internet streaming platform. I made it in real life, but it came from the internet. I got paid $4,000 just to go to Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm booked for $10,000 tonight for tonight and tomorrow night. I made another $2,000 doing an interview. I got another $2,000 doing another interview. A nigga sent me another $1,000 to book me for January 18th. Another nigga sent me $3,500, goddamn me, to come back to Charlotte, North Carolina. All this was this week. All that was this week, man. I knew what I was doing when I came to the internet. It's a billion motherfuckers on a platform. I'm sorry. I just told a lie. It's a billion on Facebook by itself. So it's a billion on Facebook. It's another billion on TikTok. Another 700 million on Instagram. Another 500 million on. Man, you mean to tell me all these people on here, they giving you their mind, and these motherfuckers giving you their time. I ought to be able to get their goddamn money too. If a motherfucker give you their mind, how do they give you their mind? They open their ears up to you. They put their eyes on you, start watching you. So if a motherfucker do that, you got access to playing on some motherfuckers. You got access of manipulating these motherfuckers. As a matter of fact, these motherfuckers done gave you their soul. Hold on, what you mean they done gave you their soul? They done gave you their mind, ain't they? That's the top tier of their soul. Now they done give you their willpower. Nigga talking about what they'll do to you. Because of what? You done tapped into their emotions. Well, what is your soul made of? Your mind, your will, and your emotions. So all these people done give me their soul. So I come to soul fuck every day, fucking their minds and playing in their souls. I got a nigga feeling some kind of way. He don't even know me, ain't even seen me in life, ain't never met me, heard me from putting it.
I think that's the biggest reason why Charleston don't like games, because that happens in some games, not all games. Most games were made for a positive reason, but sometimes the bad leaders can manipulate their people, and it could be an evil leader. So that might be why he don't like them, but they're not all like that though. Not all games are like that. Most games aren't. Bigger percentage of
Eyes on me and opening his ear up to me, and now he feeling some kind of way about me. Thank you for your soul, nigga. I don't feel nothing about nobody because I don't know nobody. I can't see nobody. But everybody can see and hear me. You give me your mind, you give me your time, nigga. You think I ain't gonna capitalize off you dumb motherfuckers? Got me fucked up, nigga. I'm a game related nigga. Not no gang related nigga. Game applied means elevation, Jack. Game related, not gang related, nigga. Pimping. Proper instructions motivate people. PIMP. Proper instructions motivate people, nigga. So I know what to tell my bitch in the morning. I know what to tell my kids at night. I know what to say to my friends when they going through something, nigga. I'm a bad motherfucker. I make the world stop and watch me, nigga, in less than a year. And made right at $400,000 at the end of this motherfucker. Right under $400,000 is what I touched this year. Yeah, y'all go on about your day, Jack. I ain't on here for y'all no more. I see what it is with y'all, man. I ain't on. You can't now another motherfucker speak on my platform. Now motherfucker can speak on my platform, nigga. We ain't the same. We ain't cut from the same cloth, nigga. No. And not at all, Jack.
So there's Charleston talking about what I don't know how to feel about all that. But yeah. I don't know how to feel about that. But y'all know Charleston. He thinks completely different than everybody else. Hold up, yeah. So you got bad skin, son. Let's check out Charlie Kirk, y'all. Alright, y'all. We're gonna check out Charlie Kirk here. I don't know if y'all heard of him, but he's a Republican. I just want to see this real quick. This is a crazy. This title is throwing me off.
Oh, is it the Libertarian? Oh my goodness. Okay, introduce yourself.
My name is Colby Silvestri. I'm a proud member of the Libertarian Party. I'm glad to see you here.
So you're working on behalf of Kamala Harris here, but yeah.
Not sure how that works, but I think we disagree mostly on things of degree, like dismantling the administrative state and destroying regulations. You talk about tariffs and how they protect the American consumer, but wouldn't widespread deregulation between our industries help that more?
Well, no. So I just want to be clear. Are you actively trying to get libertarians elected in Nevada?
No.
Okay, good. All right, then fair enough. Then I shouldn't ridicule you. No, I just think it's so insane to try to get libertarians elected.
A little bit of a waste of time.
Totally agree. Yes. So let me tell you what I'm libertarian on, and then you tell me. I'll tell you what I'm not libertarian on, and then we can find out where we disagree. Is that cool? I'm very libertarian on guns. I think that people have a God-given inalienable right to own weapons, and that the Second Amendment shall not be infringed, and that without the Second Amendment, you don't have a First Amendment, a Third Amendment, a Fourth Amendment, and the Second Amendment is God-given. We agree on that, right? I believe that the government should be severely restrained in its spying, its capacity to be able to monitor our private communications. I think you should get a warrant before that you ever are able to spy in communications, and I think the FISA statute should be completely repealed. And I think it's abused by politicians too much. Finally, I think we largely agree on war. I think the Iraq war was a mistake. The Afghanistan war was a mistake. I think us sending money to Ukraine is a total mistake. And I think that this experiment in the American empire has been terrible and awful. Let me tell you what I'm not libertarian on, okay? I'm not libertarian on immigration. I do not think that we should have open borders and invite the people of every country around the world to come here while our own citizens are suffering and not able to get ahead as much as their parents, right? So that's where I'm not libertarian. Secondly, and then I'll let you respond, I'm not libertarian on drug legalization. I think that our moving towards drug legalization that starts with marijuana and eventually cocaine and then psychedelics and then heroin has been very bad for society. It increases crime. I do not like this idea that you drive every...
That's a lie, bro. And cocaine is way worse than psychedelics. Come on now.
And there's marijuana clinics in every corner. I don't think that it has improved the well-being or the soul of this nation. So on those two things, I'm not libertarian. Please respond.
Do drugs cause crime, or does the drug war cause crime?
I don't know how many cases I can look up of people's lives being saved with weed. They got off harder drugs or healing kids with seizures. Bro, like, I haven't heard any bad with weed being legalized. Like, I heard that the amount of weed being consumed in some legal states is even going down because it's legalized. So, well, I don't know. He's got to show some real statistics on that. The harder drugs I understand, because I'm torn on that too. Like, because this guy's probably about to say all drugs should be legal, and I understand what he's saying, bro. Because everything has a purpose. It just needs to be regulated. But some things, it's just like, I don't know. You feel me?
Well, people cause crime, but you also must understand what you do from a policy perspective. Just using prudence and not abstractions, is what I am doing improving the livelihood of my people, or is it hurting the livelihood of my people? And I can be honest, I don't know, maybe you guys disagree, but since the legalization of weed in a lot of Western states, I do not think it's increased the quality of life out West. You could disagree, though.
Maybe not for the people in jail who are incarcerated for nonviolent drug.
I think that's a good
possession
argument.
crimes.
Those are actually two different things, though. Decriminalizing something in the sense of how you enforce it, I can agree with, but then legalizing it so that a 19-year-old can go get a bunch of weed on the street corner. We were told a couple things when it came to the drug.
He could do that anyway. He could do that anyway, bro. Like, it don't matter if you legalize it or not. It's just like alcohol. Bro, anybody can get alcohol. Like, some stores don't even be caring. Like, you can get somebody to buy it for you. So I don't know.
We were told that usage rates would go down. We were told that the cartel would get...
Usage rate did go down. In Colorado, I know for a fact, usage rate went down. So, people just like other drugs. A lot of people just don't like weed. That's just what it is. People want to do hard drugs. That's how people are. Some people are just people. All people are different.
Super poor and that it would like bankrupt the cartel, and we were told that it would not increase crime in the areas. None of those three things actually happened.
We didn't end the drug war. We never ended the drug war. It's still going on right now.
No, I know. So is it your perspective to decriminalize all drugs?
Yes.
Okay. So including heroin?
Absolutely.
Okay, got it. So do you think San Francisco is a good example of drug policy?
No. No.
But all drugs are legal in San Francisco.
I don't know if that's the case.
No, it is. Yeah, I could literally, you and I could get in a car right now, and you and I could get morphine, we can get heroin or fentanyl on the side of the street and shoot up together and watch the sunset over the Golden Gate Bridge.
With the cops. With.
Yeah, bro, but that doesn't mean that it's illegal. That don't mean what you're doing is legal. Anybody can go do that in any state. It don't mean it's legal.
What?
Just like right next to us, just hanging out.
No, not only that, the state gives you the drugs. And the needles. Did you know that?
No.
That's libertarianism at play, though, my friend. So San Francisco embrace liberty. Drugs. And the needles. Did you know that?
No.
That's libertarianism at play, though, my friend. So San Francisco has embraced libertarianism.
The government does not have any responsibility to distribute drugs.
Fair enough, fine. But it's not just, it's an extreme. They distribute drugs in San Francisco. In Portland, they don't enforce any drug laws. Now, I think you guys can all agree, the dirtiness and the lack of safety in San Francisco, Portland, Seattle should be a cautionary tale that maybe widespread drug legalization is a really, really bad idea. Do you guys agree? What is your response to that?
I don't have any response to that because I don't have the data on hand.
Fair enough. So, but this is not a data argument, though. Just take a road trip. I want you to drive through San Francisco, Portland, and Seattle anytime in the next couple of years. I want you to think about this conversation.
Bro, you can't. He's trying to categorize all drugs into one. If that's the case, people get high off Benadryl and can fall asleep behind the wheel and crash a car. What about that? If you're going, you can't just pick and choose, bro. Like, yeah, some of these harder drugs, I understand. We need something, regulation on it, some type of something. Weed and other things, bro, like certain things, like, if you're gonna get rid of weed, you have to get rid of alcohol. You have to get rid of like Benadryl, NyQuil, anything that you can make you drowsy.
And ask yourself, is this the best we can do as a country? And is what we are doing working? Here's my perspective. We're the wealthiest country ever, where the young ladies in this audience probably don't feel safe walking the streets of San Francisco at night. Nor should you, right? And I think, not even here, yeah. And by the way, what a moral failure that you can't walk your own cities at night. People say, Charlie, what are your politics? How about this? I want to be able to walk every major American city at night and enjoy it like my parents did, and not have to worry about being raped, mugged, or shut down. And like, whatever it takes to get that done, let's do that thing.
I think a partial solution to that is...
I do agree with that, though. I do agree with that.
More guns. I mean, if in California it wasn't illegal to own a gun...
I do agree with that, sort of, but I think at some point, if people are showing a pattern of crime, they shouldn't be on the street, right? So if they're dealing drugs and smashing windows, and they're holding up, you know, whatever, 7-Elevens, you should be in jail for a long time for those things.
People deal drugs to feed their families, and a boatload of reasons, bro. You can't lump it all together. You can't.
And what San Francisco and Seattle have done is that they have no cash bail, they decriminalized it, and they basically you could get out the same day you commit a crime. And again, I just think that this is not even political, but I guess the Republican Party is now the ambassador of this. It's so simple that if you don't feel safe in your own great cities, your leaders have failed you and they should all be fired. Thank you. You have one more thought?
One more thought about tariffs. I want to go back to my original.
Sure, I'm very much in favor of tariffs, yeah.
The costs are ultimately passed down to the consumer.
Not always. That's interesting. So why are pickup trucks so much cheaper in America than they are in Europe?
No idea.
Because they're made here. You know that we heavily tariff pickup trucks more than any other car coming into the country? So how do you avoid a tariff? Make it here. So what tariffs do is they're forcing functions for overseas companies to build factories here. See, you're only looking at tariffs through a one-dimensional DC Chamber of Commerce lens. The way that you tell a company, oh, avoid the tariff, build the factory in Nevada. And so, for example, you guys probably, any parents own a Toyota pickup truck? Anybody? They're actually pretty good, yeah? Look at, there's a couple hands. Toyota builds all their pickup trucks here, and they avoid the 25% tariff. So it's not a tax. It actually incentivizes homeland production and more jobs for our country, and actually the price doesn't get passed on to the consumer.
I think hands down, deregulation.
I tend to agree with that, but I also want to live in the real world, not fantasy world, and I think that also fundamentally you have a social contract to your people that, for example, if we have critical vitamin needs in this country, most of our drugs are made in China. That's bad, okay? Like we don't overthink it. You don't need a chart. You don't need a graph. Bad that we don't make our own drugs, okay? That 90% of all vitamin C is made in China. You need vitamin C to live, literally. It's ascorbic acid. Make it.
I agree with that because if we make it over here, at least we know, we can regulate it. We know how much it is, what the milligram is, what we even put in it, because what you're getting on the street nowadays, bro, you don't know what you're buying. So, yeah, I agree. Medication should be made in this country.
So anyway, we could agree to disagree on that. I think tariffs are great forcing functions, especially if you're a wealthy country. Tariffs are really good if you're wealthy and the incumbent power.
Okay.
God bless you. Are you voting for Trump?
No.
Who are you voting for? Chase Oliver?
Yeah.
But why?
He's the best candidate on the field for sure.
But so you're going to vote for someone who can't win?
Yes, because my vote doesn't matter anyways.
But if your vote doesn't matter, why vote at all?
It's going to matter more if I vote for the candidate with the least amount of votes. It's proportionally larger. If our candidate hits the 5% threshold, that's kind of the goal.
Why?
Natural federal
funding? What?
Matching federal funds from the U.S. government, which will make our party wealthier and be more competitive.
So let me just be clear. So do you think that there's, from the values you care about, which is liberty, yeah, and make sure you're talking to Mike, is there no material difference to your life between?
I mean, he got a good idea, I guess, but I just don't think libertarian will ever be elected. I just don't think so. But I mean, that's a good idea. But I agree. I don't think the vote matters at all. But I ain't even gonna vote. And the libertarian definitely ain't winning anytime soon.
Trump and Kamala.
Oh yeah, Trump way better than Kamala. Kamala is pure evil. Kamala Harris is pure evil.
But no, it's okay. So, but you're in a battleground state. You can go do your 5% thing a different time. Isn't it probably worth against like being drafted to World War III? Just suck it up, put on the MAGA hat, and vote for Trump. You'll think about it. You'll think about it.
Yeah, I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
What y'all think? What y'all think? So is Kamala pure evil, like this guy said? Well, should we even vote? Let's check this one out, y'all.
Hey Charlie,
How are you?
I'm good. How about you? So you're notoriously
What's up, y'all? We got Charlie Kirk schooling a white dude for Harris at UW-Madison.
Hey Charlie,
How are you?
I'm good. How about you? So you're notoriously Hey Charlie,
How are you?
I'm good. How about you? So you're notoriously anti-Civil Rights Act.
Well, again, I explained that earlier. There's parts of it that were good.
Okay. I want to know what your Hey Charlie, what your Hey Charlie,
How are you? How are you?
I'm good. How about you? So you're notoriously anti-Civil Rights Act.
Well, again, I explained that earlier. There's parts of it.
Hey Charlie,
How are you?
I'm good. How about you? So Your notoriously anti-Civil Rights Act.
Well, again,
Here we go, y'all. Here we go, y'all. We got Charlie Kirk schools white dude.
Hey Charlie,
how are you?
I'm good. How about you? So your notoriously anti-Civil Rights Act.
Well, again, I explained that earlier. There's parts of it that were good.
Okay. I want to know what your idea for like not only Black liberation, but like liberation for any type of minority that was protected through the Civil Rights Act. Like what your idea for that would be if it wasn't there.
Yeah, again, I said it earlier that the part of the Civil Rights Act that disallowed businesses from administering services based on race, that was a good part. The other parts that created this ridiculously overreaching anti-racist bureaucracy was ridiculous, and now
like what parts?
Well, for example, the parts that give us the enforcement on the Voting Rights Act, which says that so I'll give you an example. Merrick Garland recently said that states cannot have voter ID because it's a violation of the Civil Rights Act. So that's insane because the Civil Rights Act went as far to say not just disparate encounter, but disparate impact.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So
I get that.
So the impact goes too far for me. Now, for example, if you go to a Walgreens and someone says blacks shall not come in, that should obviously be illegal. But if it says that, hey, at Walgreens, black.
Hey Charlie,
how are you?
I'm good. How about you? So your notoriously anti-Civil Rights Act.
Well, again, I explained that earlier. There's parts of it that were good.
Okay. I want to know what your idea for like not only Black liberation, but like liberation for any type of minority that was protected through the Civil Rights Act. Like what your idea for that would be if it wasn't there.
Yeah, again, I said it earlier that the part of the Civil Rights Act that disallowed businesses from administering services based on race, that was a good part. The other parts that created this ridiculously overreaching anti-racist bureaucracy was ridiculous, and now
like what parts?
Well, for example, the parts that give us the enforcement on the Voting Rights Act, which says that so I'll give you an example. Merrick Garland recently said that states cannot have voter ID because it's a violation of the Civil Rights Act. So that's insane because the Civil Rights Act went as far to say not just disparate encounter, but disparate impact.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So
I get that.
So the impact goes too far for me. Now, for example, if you go to a Walgreens and someone says blacks shall not come in, that should obviously be illegal. But if it says that, hey, at Walgreens, black customers are stopped more for shoplifting than white customers, then they have come into stores, by the way, and big settlements have been paid because it's a violation of the Civil Rights Act, even though it turns out that the black shoplifters were like actually shoplifting more on average than white shoplifters. So disparate impact is very, very dangerous.
Okay.
And that's where the Civil Rights Act allowed us to go.
Okay, I get that. But I also have another question about like student protests regarding any. You've been notoriously against like like the Black Lives Matter protests, the Palestinian encampment that was here last year.
A little less, but yeah.
Yeah. But then like, if I'm not mistaken, you're pretty pro like anti-COVID, like anti-restrictions for COVID protesters. Like protests. Just to be clear, I'm pro like any sort of protest. Like I'm pro.
I think they also have a right.
Yes. But like when protest has been shown to like voice the opinion of the people and create change in a very like in a way that could be systemic in the future, why do you pick and choose certain protests and certain gatherings to like to go against?
To be clear, they all should be legal. I mean, unless you're occupying a campus illegally, which was happening, or you're harassing kids on the way to class, you don't have a right to do that.
But there was also some of that on the way around. But
I'm sorry, what?
And then just keep on going.
Or in BLM, you have a right to march for that, but you don't have a right to loot stores. Right.
Yeah, but then there's also like a lot of like black liberation movements like used violence as a way.
Yes, I agree, and that was wrong.
Yeah, but then there wouldn't be.
There wouldn't be what?
There wouldn't be equal rights. Like there would.
Are there? Well, hold on a second. I'm against the Civil Rights Act in its current writing.
Yes,
so,
I mean, but
so
like
I'm very consistent in that. So I don't think.
Yeah, but there's a good chance that there wouldn't be like an option for like businesses to discriminate against black people if there weren't protests that actually.
Do you think is smashing stuff violence? And do y'all think that type of protest should be? What do you think should happen? Should people be like? What do y'all think about that?
Okay, first of all, I think looting is wrong and destruction of property is wrong, period. I don't care what you're doing it in the name of. It was wrong when they were smashing windows on January 6th. It's wrong when you're burning a Wendy's in the name of George Floyd. Secondly, what was exactly being protested with the BLM? Like the death of George Floyd?
I mean, no, it's just police brutality and defunding. Well, not only defunding, but like allocating those resources to different areas.
It's so outrageous. There's not enough police in Black American neighborhoods.
I disagree. I live in New York. There's police. There's
crime is way up in New York, man.
I know, but it's not but that's a testament to how police.
No. The head count has gone down.
There's like 4 policemen every corner.
Let me ask you: was the city safer under Giuliani or Bloomberg or under De Blasio or Adams?
Bro, he must not know New York, because literally there is police everywhere in New York. They had the biggest police force in the world. Of course, them cops is on the corners. He said 4 on 1 corner.
It's...
What part of New York are you from?
I'm from, like, close to Harlem.
Okay, so you would know this intimately then.
Yes.
You know that it was safer under Bloomberg than it was under De Blasio.
Yeah, I'm not very pro De Blasio or Adams.
Okay, so, but just to be clear, that you're asking me, like, what protests I pick and choose? Like, I also will see what they're protesting. Again, they all have a right to protest, to be clear. Sure. But if you're protesting something stupid, I'm going to criticize you. Like, how about this? Instead of protesting against systemic racism, why don't you go protest to put dads back in the home?
I think that's just pretty stupid.
It's stupid to go put dads back in the home?
Yes.
Why? No, tell me. That's
because
so
that's not, like, I feel like the protest, it has to be something more systemic.
Okay, no, this is interesting. So instead of actually improving your life, you should go protest and scream.
Dads back in the home is a pretty individual issue.
Exactly, that's what makes us different. So instead of going into the street and screaming about some sort of injustice, go improve.
I actually agree with Charlie Kirk on that one. We should be, I feel like a lot of those protests are just funded for the wrong reasons or whatever the case. But that's a good thing in protests is, you know, fathers back in the home, because a lot of fathers home.
Life.
Yeah, but that's not how you create change in a widespread audience.
Bingo. That's what makes conservatives different than leftists, is that we think the true revolution should happen at home. The true revolution is you being a better citizen, getting loyally married to your spouse, having children, raising them well, going to church, having a job, being a good citizen, not going on the streets complaining about.
Well, I'm against that because I think, and I'm not against that, but I'm just, if whatever you decide to do with your life is like what you decide to do, but I think revolution comes through the gathering of people with like-minded views, and that can come most effectively through protests.
Sure, but I think be careful what revolution you try to invite.
Of course, yeah. Well, that's the point. People can choose if they want to or don't want to.
Yeah, I think that it's so interesting. Instead of trying to like create this massive revolutionary change, use that energy to look yourself in the mirror and saying, I have a lot of problems, and I'm going to fix those before I try to fix society's problems.
But that only affects you.
Exactly, because that's what you can control. What we have turned into is a...
Fix yourself. You can't help others till you fix yourself. It's facts.
That worries far more about other people's problems than their own problems.
Yeah, but what if there are a lot of societal issues? Like, what are we supposed to just, like, not care about?
Of course you should care about them, but these are...
There is societal issues, too, though, so I'm not neglecting that.
Where has the emphasis been on stop doing certain behaviors that are obviously bad for you and therefore bad for society?
Yeah, okay.
Right?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm voting for Kamala because of the child tax credit and because of...
Really?
Yeah.
You know the one that Trump had in his tax cut?
No, I know. It's a good thing, though. I agree with it both.
Yeah, so and do you think that Kamala would manage the economy well?
Yeah.
Why hasn't she done it the last 3.5 years?
She's the vice president. Are we okay? Are we gonna
You're right.
act like the vice president is managing the economy?
Do you think Joe Biden's running the economy right now?
I think the White House senior staff.
Hold on a second. If
I think White House senior staff.
Kamala Harris wanted to run the country, she could. How did Kamala Harris do with running the border?
Again, she.
How many illegals have come in under her watch? Can you guess?
Look, I obviously don't know the number off the top of my head.
It's 10 million people. Is that a success?
I don't think the border wall would be any more of a success.
Well, hold on. Under Trump, border crossings were at an all-time low. Kamala Harris, 10 million people to legally come to this country, which is more than the population of New Jersey. Why does she deserve to be a president when she can't even manage the border?
Why? Okay, so yeah, I know. The bill that Biden and Harris put in to increase the border control.
No. Don't. 1 second, please. No. It's not about the bill. You can do this all by executive order. Remain in Mexico. They've decided to empower the foreign. Kamala Harris has overseen the border. She failed. She oversaw the Russian-Ukrainian dispute and went to the Munich Security Conference, and hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians died. She was the deciding vote on the Inflation Explosion Act that makes everyone have to pay more in goods and services. Her first day was 3.5 years ago as VP. What has she done that has given you confidence she'll do a good job as president?
I mean, she inherited a bad COVID economy, and it's gotten better. It has. It's gotten better since COVID. Yes, the economy is better since the end of COVID.
Prices are higher. People can't afford homes. 1.5 million people lost their jobs in the last year. You ask anybody in the economy, the American people don't agree with you, by the way. 75% of Americans disapprove of the economy right now.
Yeah.
But if she was so good, by the way, so she says, I'm going to do no tax on tips, stole it from Trump. Why doesn't she just tell the IRS to do that right now?
Right. She's been in there years.
I honestly know much about tax on tips and the IRS.
But let's
Did Kamala really make the economy? I mean, did our presidential candidate right now really make the economy any better?
Put all this aside, would you not agree that Trump's presidency was objectively better than Joe Biden's?
I would not agree on that. What did
How
Trump
do you judge
that you really?
Border crossings all-time low. No new wars. You agree with that, right? No new wars.
He didn't pull out of Afghanistan, which he promised to do.
Hold on a second. No new wars.
He continued a war, though.
Which war?
The war in Afghanistan.
How many Americans died in Afghanistan under Trump?
He didn't pull out troops, though. He promised.
Yes, he did. He was winding it down. No new wars under Trump. Guys, let me talk, please. Guys.
Yeah.
But let me just. So the economy under Donald Trump. If you guys want to buy a home in your life, when Trump was president, please let me talk, man. Jeez. When Trump was president, you required $75,000 a year to be able to own a home. It now requires $120,000 a year to buy a home under Harris and Biden. $50,000 more a year. So if you guys want to buy a home, you have to make $120,000 a year now, thanks to Kamala Harris.
Guys, how much did it cost the last day of Trump's presidency, though?
$75,000 a year.
Last day of his presidency?
Yes.
During the height of COVID,
Yes.
it cost $75,000
Yes.
to buy a home?
Yes.
All right.
And gas was $2. And so I'm getting at this outside of vibes and Trump hatred. What has this woman done to earn anybody's vote? She won't take questions from the press. She didn't get a single vote from Democrat primary voters. She was installed by some sort of Zoom conference vote. Like, who is this person? Can you?
He said, who is this person? What do y'all think about Kamala?
Kamala Harris, who is she?
Like, why should? Did she earn any vote? Like, how did she get here?
I mean, she was the vice president. He dropped out, and she was on the ticket. That's my best guess of why she is.
Looking at this, does that give you confidence that this person should be president?
I'm fine with her experience. I think she has a lot of experience for the office. Yeah, I don't think you can argue that she doesn't.
I mean, we already went through the border, but just like, you got to give me something, or the audience, like, make the case. Like, we're here in a battleground state, Wisconsin. Like, show me the case. I'll give you the case. Trump was president for 4 years. People were richer. World was safer. Border was secure. Things were going really, really well. We respect our world. Kamala Harris, like, what's the thing? What's the sales pitch? Outside of vibes and brat summer, like, what is the pitch?
I mean, abortion's a big one. We're going to disagree on it, but I think it should be.
Okay, let's say you're right on abortion.
Yeah.
Okay, where is that the most important civilizational issue? While we're on like.
It's pretty important to a lot of people.
So just let me understand. So Donald Trump says leave it to the states. How would that impact Wisconsin?
So Wisconsin is this extremely gerrymandered state. Most of our statewide elected officials are Democrats, and our state legislature is almost a supermajority of Republicans. It's not reflective of what the state actually wants. And the law we're defaulting to is from 1849, I think. So it's left to the states, but we're not going to pass any new. We're going to default to 1849.
But isn't there a ballot referendum around it? It's on the ballot, right? Yeah, I was going to say, Wisconsin has legalized abortion. So how would Trump even interfere with your abortion plans?
I don't think I think it's by appointing pro-life judges to circuit courts and things like that. That's the main way.
Okay, so the case for Kamala is that Donald Trump might appoint circuit court judges.
He's going to appoint worse judges. It's one of the most important parts of the presidency.
So I'm just being clear.
Appointing judges
Well, first of all, I think his judges were amazing and upheld the Constitution and the rule of law and all that. But it's remarkable to me that like the lack of the case for Kamala. Does it bother you? You can talk in a second. Does it bother you that she does not take questions from the press? I've been here for 3 hours. She will not take 5 minutes of questions. Does that bother you for a president?
That's true, though. Biden kind of is the same way. He went on the Breakfast Club like years ago, ain't talked since. So, gotta hear from the president. Or is that? Do you even care about your people?
Not a senator, a president.
I haven't watched.
Sorry, y'all.
On the press a lot. So
because you wouldn't be able to watch her on the press because she doesn't talk to the press.
Yeah, like.
It's fine.
If she's not talking to the press, I think she should talk to him more. It's not going to change my vote, but I think she should talk to him more.
Okay, last question. I'm sorry to keep you.
Yeah.
Is there anything that she could do that would make you not vote for her?
Yeah, I think if she reversed a lot of her positions from the Democratic Party and moved more to the
So
center,
like saying that she's for fracking when she was against fracking?
Fracking,
Or saying that she was like against the electric vehicle mandate when she was for the electric vehicle mandate?
I'm talking about issues that I care about more than fracking. Like abortion and like gun control.
Okay, got it. So this is so interesting, and I'm glad we have clarity on that agreement.
Yeah.
I think preventing World War III and making sure Americans can own homes and having a robust economy not being invaded is far more important than the ability to unborn children, but we'll agree to disagree. Thank you.
That's where we ended, sure.
Thank you. All right, yes, sir.
All right, sweet.
Make sure you talk right into the mic.
Yeah, of course. Sorry, can I raise it a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I love it. All right, how's this?
Perfect. Great.
All right. Hello, Charlie.
Give him a little bit more space.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'd like to ask you, how do you feel about replacing the Electoral College with ranked choice voting?
I'm not a fan of ranked choice voting at all. Yeah. You want to explain what ranked choice voting is, or?
Yeah. So okay. So like RFK, for example, he dropped out of the race. I thought he was a pretty good candidate. He had a lot of good policies, but under the two-party system that we have, he is suppressed, and I think the Electoral College has a lot of flaws. Territories, they can't vote. Conservatives in big blue cities, big blue states, are suppressed. They're ignored because of the winner-takes-all system, and the distortion of the votes. Like Wyoming is 4 times the voting power of California. I think there's a lot of flaws, and ranked choice voting would make our votes more specified.
Got it. So first, you were RFK fan. Are you voting for Trump now?
I don't want to say,
Okay.
but
I'll put you down as a probably. Yeah. Okay. Right. Put him down as a probably. Right. All right. And then ranked choice voting is a way of saying that basically the first loser ends up advancing as the candidate, right? So are you in favor of a popular vote for president, or?
I thought ranked choice voting meant like you would vote your favorite candidates number one.
Correct. Yeah.
Second. So like, I think that's good because people could like give their overall thoughts, and people would be more like researched about their.
Yeah, I mean, where we've seen ranked choice voting employed is usually by liberals and Democrats in very, very red states, and they end up basically eliminating the Republican Party. That's a little bit more nuanced, but as far as the Electoral College goes, I love the fact that Wisconsin is now one of the most important states in this election, and that Wisconsin values and Wisconsin voters are going to have to be heard by both candidates, and that it's not just a race in Los Angeles and New York City. Now, understand, yes, Wyoming has a lot of power, but so does Rhode Island and Hawaii, which are two blue states that are not as big, right? So the beauty of the Electoral College is that it recognizes that America's system is different than Europe. It's different than most of the world. We are states first, and then we are a national project, and therefore the states need to have some form of representation in how we tabulate our votes. And the brilliance of the Electoral College is that we're going to try to turn it up, guys. I'll try to really enunciate, okay? The beauty of the Electoral College is that the swing states, think of how diverse these states are. Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. If it was a pure popular vote, which I know you're not advocating for, it would all be about Seattle, Chicago, San Francisco, LA, New York.
But the top like 10 cities is like around 10% of the total population. That would not be nearly enough to win the election. Even the top 50 cities wouldn't get you close enough to win the election.
Well, so yes and no. I mean, the population of the metroplex areas are more than half of the American population. So you're right. Anyone from Chicago? I'm from Chicago. I'm sure we got a lot of Chicagoans here, right? So we all know the difference between Chicago and Chicagoland, right?
I didn't know Charlie Kirk was from Chicago.
So Chicagoland is nearly, I think, 7 or 8 million people, where Chicago... million people. But I think you can agree, at least we can agree, the beauty of the Electoral College and it does have some flaws. The beauty, though, is that it requires candidates to have to go to many different parts of the country and to earn support, not just go to the coastal cities. And the way it works in a lot of European elections, in the United Kingdom or in French elections, United Kingdom not a good example because they have a parliamentary system, but like French, they just run up the score in Paris and they say, forget it, to the rules. I think it's a good thing that Wisconsin farmers have a say in this election. It gives Wisconsin a seat at the table. So thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, yes.
Okay, I just want to start with, I heard earlier in this section that you were talking about how Pfizer and Moderna push the vaccines on people. Am I correct? Okay. So I wanted to talk about how you're a big advocate for having a choice as Americans to get the vaccine, which I completely agree with. But also at the same time, you also advocate for women not to have the freedom to choose what they do with their bodies, as well as the LGBTQ people, they shouldn't have freedom to do what they want or what they're fighting for equal rights.
Okay, so if it's not your DNA, it's not your choice. Do you agree with that?
I would partially agree. I mean, I do agree, but
so you have sovereignty over your DNA.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so when there's another DNA inside of you, do you have sovereignty over that DNA?
It is a part of the woman that...
Well, it's also part of the man, so it's new DNA, though.
Yeah, but it's attached to the woman, that's what I'm saying.
It's attached, but it's not her.
Yeah, absolutely, but, if you think about it, theoretically, it's like a parasite. It's attached to your body.
A baby's a parasite?
it's a fetus. It's a lump of cells in the woman's.
We're all lumps of cells.
Yeah, absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
So, but what you're trying to do is you're using dehumanizing language. You clump of cells.
That's not what I'm trying to do.
Parasite, but you are. No, it's okay. Just this is typical abortion language, which is try to make the baby seem that it's not a baby, because the word baby gets people animated. Because if we called it a baby, all of a sudden we wouldn't abort it. But it is a baby. By every characteristic, it's a baby. So I guess the question in front of us is, with the vaccine question, you have sovereignty over your DNA.
Yeah, absolutely.
As soon as there's new DNA that is not your own deoxyribonucleic acid, you do not have sovereignty over that DNA. It is a temporary visitor in your own DNA, but it's not your DNA. It's its own human being.
What y'all think? Is abortion killing the woman's is it a fetus or a baby? And is it a part of the woman, or is it its own organism? Now let me know.
Okay.
Like, I don't have sovereignty over you.
Absolutely.
You don't have sovereignty over me.
Yeah.
And your mom right now is not allowed to come back to campus and kill you.
Yeah, that's not the point, though.
No, but think about it, because you guys are different. So we wouldn't.
Choice of an.
But your mom doesn't remain in control of you for the rest of your life.
No, yeah, absolutely not.
Because you're separate DNA, and it just so happens that it's temporarily housed within, not that it is you.
Okay.
So no one's contesting that women do not have autonomy over their own being. The point is, what about the being that also has autonomy that you are forsaking in the woman? Because that baby has rights too.
Well, you can't like ask the fetus the question, right? It should come down to the woman that's carrying
I
the
can't
child,
ask my
right?
6-month-old a question.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
So just being able to reason with a being does not mean that the being doesn't have rights.
But
Correct?
what about when it comes to the safety of the mother that's carrying the child?
So in what circumstance? So you're saying, so if the mom's life is at risk, is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Incredibly rare, unusual.
Yeah,
Try
I
to
agree
perform a
with that.
cesarean section. So abortion is not medically necessary in 99.9% of those cases. A cesarean section is where they'll cut you right below the belly button, and they'll try to deliver the baby via cesarean. It's better to do that to give the baby a chance to live than try to euthanize the baby and break its neck and spine and put poison in its brain, right? So cesarean section is a much better option.
Okay.
So there are options available other than abortion, but the abortion lobby would never tell you that.
Yeah, but what about like the common cases of rape and incest?
Yeah, so that's not as common. It's less than 1%. But I will defend it. So
Yeah.
it's less than 1% of all abortions.
Okay,
So
I
let's
would
just say
agree with that.
hypothetically,
It's not- yeah.
somebody in this audience is conceived in rape. Who is it?
I can't point
Exactly,
that out.
because
I mean,
babies
because I
conceived in rape get the same human rights as babies conceived in a loving relationship. So your human rights don't disappear just based on how you were conceived,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And secondly, doing an evil after an evil is never correct.
No, yeah.
And of course I have sympathy for victims. It's not diminishing it, but saying that all of a sudden we're now going to murder an unborn baby because you got horrendously, morally, that sort of formula never applies to anything else in life.
Okay, but I guess
That's true, though. That's true.
what I'm getting at, and I'm sure you covered it, but it's the purpose of having a choice in this free country that should
No,
be
of course,
available.
you have a
to
choice for you,
Americans.
but not choice for others. And that's the point with abortion, is that there's another being involved. So when it comes to the vaccine, you cannot be forced to do something against your sovereign being that you don't want. But as soon as another DNA is introduced, as soon as another being is there, that being has rights as much as you do. Because I respect your rights, and you got to respect those babies' rights. That makes sense?
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay.
Hi, Charlie.
I will. 1 sec. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I just have a question kind of based on affirmative action. I'm a computer engineer here at UW-Madison. I'm about to graduate. And there's a lot that I've found through research and just general, I guess, my studies. Not only does affirmative action like help, minorities, people of color, but also women in general. And there's a lot of facets of engineering, the medical system, and other factors that, because of affirmative action, have helped. I'll just go into something. For example, let's say like in the medical field, endometriosis, something like that has not been studied in women due to so little women being in the medical field. Also, for example, like cars. The seatbelt is made specifically for the male body. They're only tested with male mannequins, so a lot of women are in risk of dying in car crashes at a higher rate. There's a lot of things that benefit from a diverse group of people, both in engineering and medical fields and education and other facets of the systems. And I was just wondering, without affirmative action, how do you think we can bring these people in to bring a variety of opinions?
Yeah, no, I mean, just have a meritocracy, right? So you have 3 white men around you. You can see 1, 2, 3. So if one supports affirmative, no, it's okay. If one supports affirmative action,
right,
it would mean that you would be okay turning to those 3 men and saying, I deserve the position more than you based on something that doesn't matter more than something that does matter.
I feel like that's one facet of it that we're not also paying attention to, is that people that are graduating from the same schools. They're graduating with the same degrees.
With lower test scores, though, much lower. Every study of affirmative action, for example, the Harvard case showed that it was nearly 40% lower test scores for people of color versus their white male counterparts and Asian counterparts.
And so how
at
can,
some point,
is that like why would that happen? Do you think
why?
it's, yeah.
Why
What causes that? Do you think it's just because like
Well,
people of color are more like stupid?
No,
or,
of
like,
course not.
Right.
I mean, people of color come from lower socioeconomic backgrounds that don't prioritize education.
So
much,
how do we
but
fix
that's
those
not,
socioeconomic statuses?
But that's an interesting point. Not should we try to penalize white males that are competent to go run our systems and our institutions. So
Right.
those are 2 different things.
Right.
So what we're doing is our institutions are now becoming less excellent. Our country is not working like it used to because we basically told people that are very qualified and very competent that, sorry, we're not going to put a position for you here. For example, the U.S. Secret Service. Let me just give you one example, okay? We can all agree that protecting a president, whether it's Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, is super important, right? But now the Secret Service has said that we want to have 30% of all our agents be women, which, by the way, they have lower fitness criteria. So they have less pull-ups, less push-ups, slower mile time.
Oh yeah, that's something that's due to like your.
Hold on.
Like,
Exactly. Yeah. No. But this is affirmative action, right? And so therefore, when
well, there's like fields like I don't think that's a good. One second. I just don't think that's a good example because like women will never be as strong as men, at least genetically.
So that's an interesting question.
So I think it should be something that's more like ideologically based.
Will women be as good at engineering as men, person for person?
Not necessarily, but
okay. Well, then how is that different than the Secret Service example?
Well, the problem is that
because the male mind is wired different than the female mind. By the way, men will never be as good. Hold on, I'll prove it to you. Men will never be as good at counseling or psychology sessions as women. Men will never be good at nursing or elementary school education as women. We have certain giftings because our brain is wired a certain way. Women are far better.
That's why they're
gifted at micro topics, so individual connection, empathetic type conversations, healing people that are past trauma and wound. Men are much better at macro topics, right? Trying to build a building, put a skyscraper up, trying to talk geopolitics. And I'll prove it to you. When you go and you see 5 women eating lunch, they're probably talking about micro topics, conversations they have, relationships, friendships. Men, they're talking about politics, sports, or the stock market.
That's not necessarily
Oh,
true.
yes. You guys all agree, right?
I mean, there's a reason.
No, these are bimodal general truths, right? Of course, there's exceptions, but
it's not a general truth, though. I feel like women have the capability of having political conversations.
Of course they do, but it's not the general wiring or nature of women.
It's not. There's no wiring for your brain to like Donald Trump. Like that's not a real thing. I feel like.
But wait a second. But do you think that men and women are made different in our brains and our
certain things, but not necessarily. It doesn't like channel you to be a specific thing.
Like what things?
Well, like there's like specific wirings to, like produce certain types of hormones, and that's like differences that are genetically done.
So you don't think that men are more likely to like contact sports, more likely to enjoy football, UFC, hunting?
I think that's because of a societal norm in general, like over a lot of time.
Come on, you're smarter than that. That's not true.
Well,
hold on. So why is it
there's women that play football, so like you can't just say that.
Biologically, we do that more. Like, what y'all think about that?
And there are men that dress in drag. Those are not the general truth of it. So let me just be clear. You think that there's nothing within the female brain in its constitution that makes those are not the general truth of it. So let me just be clear. You think that there's nothing within the female brain in its constitution that makes young ladies more likely.
I mean, being that I'm an engineer, I don't think so. No. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I feel like there's.
So you think if you pick a random lady here, that they'd be just as comfortable sitting and watching a 4-hour football game than they were to go get their hair done with their best girlfriend?
Well, I feel like that's kind of diminishing to say, oh, because you're a woman, you will not be able to sit through a 4-hour
But
football field.
is it diminishing to say a man wouldn't want to go get his hair done? No.
No, I'm sure you get your hair done, right?
Not really. It's like 10 minutes in and out, like barbershop.
Okay, but you still do it. It's
But the point, again, there are certain things that women will take more seriously. For example, women will take a lot longer getting ready for the day than men.
Yeah.
Right? Why?
Because we're held to higher standards to
No,
look pretty.
no.
For example, your hair. How short is your hair? It's super short. Mine, it's gonna take longer to dry.
Do you wear
right?
makeup?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you want to look pretty, and it takes.
Yeah, that's not important to me because I'm a man.
Well, right. But who would you feel
there's
that
something
way?
in your
but you
wiring.
feel comfortable
No,
not
no,
wearing
it's not
makeup because of a certain reason.
Well, but you wouldn't feel comfortable wearing makeup?
I can not wear makeup.
But why do you do it?
I mean, like right now I'm not wearing like anything really.
No, I know, but that's the point is that at some point you wear makeup because there's something within your wiring that says, I want to be presentable to the world, and that wiring honestly is, I want to find a mate to have
I mean,
children.
this question was about affirmative action. I think we're
No,
getting
it's not. It's actually really important because I don't think there's any differences between races, but I think that when it comes to affirmative action, we're saying that there are differences.
Right.
That we're trying to say that things that don't matter should matter. So I don't think race matters. Affirmative action says race
What
does matter.
about like women also in fields like that? Like what I
Well,
explained.
I think that's even more dangerous, to be honest with you. If like we're going to say that women should be Secret Service agents protecting Trump.
Not Secret Service. I'm talking about medicine, engineering, that type of
Well,
thing.
hold on. Okay, so should we try to have the same amount of female to male OBGYNs?
I think it should
Hold on.
be similar to the amount of like
OBGYNs.
like the general
So
population.
hold on. 85% of all OBGYNs are female.
Yeah.
So now should we have parity so that men?
I have an OBGYN that's a man. That's not a problem.
That's not the point. The point is should we have parity?
I think it should be similar to like whatever the.
Got it. Okay. So you're consistent. So women studying in the OBGYN field will be actively discriminated against. So a man can, because we must have parity.
It's not about people in the OBGYN specifically. It's about people in general. Men were, like for example, women were not able to vote until like less than 100 years ago, basically, right?
What does that have to do with?
One second. So because of that, a lot of the laws, a lot of everything that's set in place was made by men, was excluding women, was creating like reforms and like certain legislations that would specifically, support men rather than women because women don't have that ability.
Support society. I don't think it was always about supporting.
Well, for example, like what about like what I brought up, endometriosis, so like the seatbelt accident, like all this stuff is due because we tend to favor men in specific.
So I just don't believe that. First of all, because research will go where the money is, and so if there was money in endometriosis research.
Not much because
well,
men
that's
don't
why.
care.
So maybe it wasn't sexism. Maybe it was a monetary explanation.
Well, who has the money in a
Well,
society?
actually, women control more money than men in the country.
But men, women weren't able to have bank accounts until like less than 100 years ago, so they can't really build that generational wealth.
Do you think it's been a better thing with women's liberation in the last 20, 30 years?
Yeah, I would.
Do you think, that's interesting. Do you think women are happier in America today than they were 30 years ago?
Yeah.
Then why are they the most depressed group in the history of the species? Women are the most miserable they've ever been. Like, why is that?
I don't think that's because we're allowed to have money.
No, I'm asking the answer, but it's like more liberation, more college degrees, more birth control, less marriage,
I would
less
argue
kids.
otherwise. I don't know where you got that data.
No,
that we're
everybody
more
agrees that
depressed.
women are super miserable, as far as versus 30 years ago.
Well, it could be the fact that because women weren't able to go to a psychologist or like before.
Or maybe it's because they're not doing the one thing that they want to do, which is to get married and have children.
Yeah, she's saying that. No, it's actually opposite. It's saying that women actually. It says women around the world report higher levels of life satisfaction than men, but at the same time report more daily stress.
Yeah,
so we're just held
so
to.
Type in women antidepressant use 2024. It is the highest it has ever been.
But there's like more layers to it than that. It can't just be that. You have to look at why are women more likely to go and talk to a psychologist. There's the differences in that.
So, but I'm just curious. So, do you think women are generally happier in 2024 than they were in 1964?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
But I just had the question of how would you want to fix that? Just
There's no problem to fix. Pure meritocracy.
No, I'm just saying like how do you bring people with diverse opinions?
Oh yeah, I mean like I don't care that much about. I care about excellence.
So like women, like you be
I
studying
don't
into
care
stuff
about
like
putting women in
endometriosis
STEM.
and
I
stuff
care
like
about
that.
being a strong.
No, I'm talking about like being able to like look into those type of things, like endometriosis, like all this stuff. How do we make that safer for other people without bringing people that care about it?
Not that important to me. I want the country we once had, which was the greatest country ever, where we put excellence and we put superior intellect above like sensitive racial politics. Not interesting to me. Because it was a bunch of white men that were like running the country, and all of a sudden we've decided.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just
no,
saying
good.
that.
Like that's fine. I mean, but when we used to have a country that was based on merit, we were more successful, and we were a better run country, and we're objectively not now. We're a country
I'm just saying that in engineering,
we can't even protect
there's
the
a lot
president
of,
from getting shot.
Yeah, there's a lot of parts in engineering that because we don't have a diverse look of opinions, then we are putting them like we're putting certain people into more danger, like women in cars. That's like one example.
Okay, thank you.
That's okay.
All right. Thanks. You're voting for Trump?
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I can't.
Yeah. Well, you lied to get a hat, and that shows your character.
I didn't lie. I said I would wear it. You said if you wear it.
I said only if you vote, but that's fine. All right, next question.
All right, John.